Gano, good afternoon. Hi, welcome. Better late than never. Today we're gathering in our environmental collective, and it's a little tough getting here, as we can see. A few messages from our circle that we'll try to make it here, but we're happy that you did. For those of you who are joining us or will join us in the future, thanks so much for continuing to show up and support this um, group. And we appreciate everyone that's been watching and messaging and asking us what's next. We have some new people joining us in the next few weeks as people begin to get settled. I think in this time, it's just acknowledging this beautiful day. I just rushed here myself, rushed because I was just kind of being in the energy. I had my windows open and it was a little windy, and I was on the highway, and I don't know where my mind went, but I just was like looking around at how green and beautiful everything looked on the highway, and next thing you know, I missed my exit. So just kind of acknowledging the beauty around us, and I'm grateful that that's where my mind was when I was driving. It wasn't that I was worrying about anything. I was just really looking at how beautiful everything looks right now, and how grateful I am to be able to acknowledge that, and in my car take that moment. Just being connected and knowing that everything around us was meant to take care of us and to support us. And so, Nyawa, to the Creator, Mother Earth, my friends here, Andrea, it's great to see you. And so, yeah, let's start our Tuesday talk at lunch, and maybe we'll see. Maybe Kevin might pop in the room. Oh, looky, who's in the
Thank you,
background?
Kevin.
Hey, I just
Hello.
said your name, and then there you were.
From the fields I emerge.
Well, we're live, and I was just acknowledging, I was feeling a little rushed, and then I opened up the windows of my car, and it was, really windy, and I was just really paying attention to what was around us, and how beautiful everything looks right now. So we're just saying hi.
I'll give you a moment, Kevin. I'll go first. So,
All right, go for it.
hi, everyone. So glad to be back and part of these weekly conversations. And yeah, I was out this morning just digging away in my own garden and trying to remove more grass and plant more wildflowers. So bit by bit, that's what I've been working on. And had a great conversation with one of my neighbors just being out there. So gardens are a great opportunity to just slow down a little bit, have some conversations with people that you might not otherwise have an opportunity to connect with. So food and gardens, I think, bring people together.
I like the thought of that slow down part, but it hasn't been in my vocabulary. I try to, it's the moments I find. But yeah, I'm also kind of going full speed, trying to remove unwanted grass. I just got some really amazing compost that was super expensive, but it is biologically rich with all the different stuff in the soil food web that you need. And when you spray it onto plants and onto the soil, if you were to drench the soil, the grass does not want to live in those conditions because it's more like the conditions of the forest floor. So anyways, this is what I'm meditating on. I'm just going to do foliar sprays all around my plants and see the grass not thrive. But yeah, it's really beautiful in temperature wise, cool mornings, and yeah, like I think it was 18 degrees for most of the day yesterday. Yes, I very much enjoyed being out in the sun and breathing deep, and I even liked it. I especially liked it when I turned off the machine that I was walking behind to listen to the birds and that.
Well, today, Andrea made the topic health and wellness. And
I
let's
think it
talk.
just, yeah, I just think it seemed to be appropriate for the week that you and I have had, Jody, and the upcoming week. And when I heard that Mary and Wendy couldn't join because they were busy, they're doing interviews because things are ramping up. You're busy out in the field, Kevin. Things are ramping up. You just had a big plant sale. We're all in this beautiful frenzy of activity because this is the growing time, it's the growing season, but it can throw us a little off balance at times, missing exits, and just that frenzy that does. I think that was the word you used, Kevin. So nature can be a source of calm and relaxation and a way to meditate and reconnect with the earth and ground us. But I think it's our own activities that we jam too much into our day. So how do we find that balance and make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and replenishing ourselves so that we can continue to do the good work and not burn out?
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I think too, from what I want to say, what I know, I don't really know a lot about, the astrology or, the, when it comes to, all of the, is it just astrology, not astrology? What's the other, what's like not just the cycle, astronomy, right? But I know I have noticed, because I don't know about it, I have noticed in my body, because I'm a pretty connected person to my body, to, what and how I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty conscious of. I'm not saying I'm great at it yet, but I do notice in my life. I notice in my body. It probably has to do with how I work with Dennis Wendigo and the elders, that consciousness. So I've noticed from the eclipse time, which was like last month, that, yeah, there was just this like busyness, gotta go, and just in the last week. And I think it was even on the weekend, because I had that sound healing class, and I was just like grounded. All of a sudden, felt like there's this we're going into this new place in space where it's gonna we're gonna get reconnected. And I think tonight on our Cedar sisters, we'll be talking about what everyone else has been feeling. But that's me, and that's why when I was driving, and I didn't have any music on or anything today, and it was just like this, unroll the window, breathe in, look at what's around me. And so yeah, I love that I'm being more conscious of how just even looking at the land around me and saying like, okay, does it have to be that difficult? Like, can I just like say no? Or how do you just shut down? But I do know this morning I did my offering at my beautiful big maple this morning, and that makes such a big difference in my life, in my day to day.
Yeah, I did not bring my lunch. I'm kind of bad on not always having my lunch every day from home, and I put myself out to society to feed me, which is often a mistake because it's hard to find good, healthy food options. But yesterday, I went to the grocery store, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm not eating any more junk for like at least the rest of the month. We all get stuck and you gotta get something in you. But yeah, I bought carrots and red pepper and a cucumber and some cheese and arugula salad and some nuts and some salad dressing. And anyways, I had a really nice meal and got all the protein and all that fresh food, and I just felt good. You forget, I think oftentimes too, we don't fully understand just how important diet is. Like I know friends that have cut gluten out of their diet, and when they had gluten put it back in, they got angry. And then they noticed, and people had said to them, yeah, what's going on? Are you, who's the girl or whatever? you're not stressed anymore. But they were saying that gluten was a trigger for like irritability, and like we forget about all these things because we're putting all these things in our bodies. Gluten, the way they've changed wheat to make gluten was not normal. And anyways, point being, like sometimes things aggravate us and we're not really irritable, but the food that we're eating. So for me, I know when I'm getting stressed out, I just try to one, clean my diet up a bit. Um, and then there's a whole bunch of things. Like I know magnesium, my coworker was reminding me about how important magnesium is in our diets. And that is a big one to help reduce stress and anxiety as well. With that, I mean, I'm a big nerd on trying to get the biology working in the soil so I can get all the nutrients and stuff into my food. And if you're eating 7 words, eat food, mostly plants, not too much. And if you do that, you should be good. You should generally be good. And that helps me immensely. And then one other thing that I do, we had a kid out here, a young man, and he was overheating and he was really stressed and like kind of on the verge of heat stroke. And I told him to go in, and I had made 3 mason jars of Tulsi. So Tulsi also goes by the name Holy Basil, or also goes by the name Sacred Basil, and that's an adaptogen. And there's a few adaptogens in the plant world, and that is one of them, and which means that it changes, it brings all your spleen and your kidneys and your lungs and your everything into more balance. So it helps regulate your body so things aren't overperforming or underperforming. And chaga is another one that does that. It's an adaptogen. And he went in and he put some cucumbers in the Tulsi tea that I had cooled down and drank it. And then he came out to me. He's like, "Dude, what was that?" And I was like, "Oh, I was like, it was Tulsi." He's like, "Honest to God, man, it was like a cool wave came over me, and I wasn't heat stroke anymore." And it was like, seriously, man, it was like a calm. And he was talking to me like, "Oh my God," and having done this for so long and knowing how food is medicine in the most profound way, um, yeah, it's nice.
How do you spell that? Tulsi.
Tulsi is Tulsi, and then the kind of common name, I think they call it in India, and the common name would be Holy Basil or Sacred Basil. I have a lot planted. Yeah, and it's just the most aromatic basil, and it makes a great tea. You can use it culinarily as well, but yeah, it's a real special herb.
Sweet.
We might have to get some seeds from you.
Yes. I have the chaga that I received from a friend of mine.
It's one of those beautiful ones when you plant it once, if you let it go to seed, it just comes back every year in the same spot, and you can pluck them out and move them to where you want them or whatever. Yeah, it's a good one.
Good to know.
For wellness?
Oh, yeah, no, I was just going to say, you brought up so many things. Like there's so many, we need to feed the soil to make our plants nutrient dense or our food nutrient dense, but then we have to remember to eat it to nourish our own bodies. Yeah, that's the part I'm not very good at either. My stomach does not handle food well in the morning, so I find I can't eat right away, and then I get busy with my day, and sometimes I'll have breakfast around 11 o'clock, and my husband gets annoyed with me because he's like, "Why haven't you eaten yet?"
Well, I know I mean, I drink warm water. It's one of the first things that I have in the morning with a little bit of lemon. It's just kind of a routine that I've gotten into, for years. And then I have my, right now I'm having an herb from my Chinese doctor. And then I just, kind of wait a little bit because I think that, we're not supposed to really wolf down a big breakfast when we wake up in the morning. And what is a breakfast for people, right? Like, so I'm with you, Kevin. I'm a minimalist when it comes to food. I like to eat what I need. I realized my body holds, and I think that many people do if we really think about it. when we're in stress. Is that vodka bottle? Is, is that a vodka
So
bottle?
distracting.
It's moonshine. I'm cleansing. No, it's not. I just take old kombucha bottles or big bottles.
Kombucha. I was like, that looks like some like vodka bottle. Oh yeah,
I try
that's good.
I
That's
try
a
and drink
good
2 of these
kombucha.
a day, just water, glass
Yes.
bottle.
And that's another thing that I like to do as well. I haven't around the house lately. I noticed a huge difference actually drinking out of this with a straw. Somebody bought this for me and I was started using it and I'm noticing a difference in like bloatedness, like feeling more bloated. Maybe it's more air that I'm taking in, but I love to drink out of my glass bottles like that, Kevin. So, but what I was saying is, I had this really good friend of mine, Brigida, and she was a big raw foodie person, and everything she did was raw, and so she never like cut her veggies. She washed them when she knew she was going to eat them, but she didn't like cut. You know how you do your food preparations, people food prep for the week, like, just realizing that the minute you cut them, they already start to lose their energy. This is what she shared with me, right? So just knowing that, like preparing my food, just knowing that it doesn't have to be, cut up in little things you just have to do it. You just have to say, I'm hungry. I'm just going to go break off 2 celery stalks and chew them down. I'm going to go grab a cucumber and eat it until I don't want to eat it and put it back in the fridge. And, that's kind of how I eat. And it drives my family nuts because they're like, what about us? And I'm like, okay, well,
Chop your own veggies.
Chop your own veggies. And because I really believe it's a part of your routine, right? This is your healthy habits. And if you're just willing to, grab a snack and unwrap it, that's what you're going to do. You're going to look for food that's wrapped. And I learned that. I was lucky. I had some really amazing mentors, like 20 or so years of my life. Not saying I do it every time. I'm not saying I live like that every day. But I think that that's where that like wellness piece comes in, that you give yourself grace and know that we're just doing the best that we can. And when you are recognizing that, hey, I've been in this like routine, maybe I need to shift. And that's where I feel like I've been the last couple of months. Because about a week ago, I had this like shift. And since then, I feel like I've lost like 10 pounds when I let go of things that I know I was holding on in my mind. So it's really intriguing, when you really start to grow with connecting to the land, and I think you make it what you need it to be in your life. That's, I think, one of the tricks to wellness, and in my life anyway, is okay, I've got this information. I'm going to hold on to this tea that you made, the story you told about the young man. And I'm probably going to, I've put that in my mind file folder that I'm going to find that for that part in my life and give that a try. Thanks for that, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't eat very big breakfast. I think that was a fallacy by some industry somewhere. It's the most important meal of the day. Eat more eggs or whatever they were pushing.
Yeah.
Kind of an egg or milk lobby. But yeah, the older I get to, the less I really want to have a big breakfast. But yeah, I know that in the blue zones in the world, which are the zones where people live to be 100 or more, the centenarians, and they oftentimes, like, the lemon water is a good one, apple cider vinegar, like a little kind of half a shot or something like that to get your stomach juices going. But they would drink water 45 minutes before they ate anything. So they get up, drink water, say hi to the sun, greet the morning kind of thing, and then you can start making some food if you want it, but they don't eat until 45 minutes after they've been up. And I love the idea of just grabbing a cucumber, a pepper, a pear, or whatever, carrots, and have those things on hand that are healthy, that you eat raw, vegetable wise. And just when you have that urge, go for that. It's amazing. You might want those Doritos or whatever the heck people eat. But yeah, just eat that stick of celery, put the cheese whiz in the garbage. Back in the fridge. But
I'm not gonna lie. I had a bag of hoops from Dollarama yesterday. I was like, hoops. They're like the best chips ever, but I also know that you can keep a fire going or start a fire with them because of the oil in them. Someone did that at the cottage last year or the park. But I was just like, wow, I haven't had those in so long. And anyway, I was surprised at how many hoops were in the chip bag. Let me just say, and I did finish them, but
Coming back
yes,
to the vegetables.
back to the vegetables. Yes.
When my kids were little, we planted beans and peas near our kitchen window so that they could watch them growing. And every morning, around 6:30, 7 o'clock, when they would get up, we would go for a little perimeter tour of our backyard and check out everything that was growing. And we would pick the snap peas and eat those for breakfast because they were just so delicious. But it's not something that you would normally associate as a breakfast item, but it was my favorite thing to eat that whole growing period while they were young and fresh and tender. So
Yeah, I used to have the sprouts
having
too.
them on hand, you know, the stuff
Right
that you
in front of
grow
them.
and you can pick fresh and just eat directly. It's amazing.
Important to show the kids that, and I love that that's where our society is finally returning to. Like, I mean, I wasn't alive when they were when that was happening, but you know, I know that a lot of people are becoming more conscious of, you know, like, you know, maybe not buying those carrots that are shaped like a little whatever that is, like a little, I don't know what that is. Those come on, Kevin. What's the story about those carrots that are cut like that? They put them through a machine. They got to bleach them or something because they go white. Do you know anything about that?
White carrots can be natural.
They're not white. They're orange. And then they turn. I mean, if you open the bag, then they kind of go white after they sat there for a while.
If you look at the packaging on it, it says baby cut carrots there. So, you know, they're all I think odds and ends or nasty looking carrots or whatever that they cut into that. I don't know about the white, but I have noticed that before too.
Yeah, they turn white.
I'm just sticking in the chat here. I bought a water filtration system for my brother as a thank you for things, and it was called Santivia. I got it at Goodness Me. It was on sale. It was less than $200, but that's another thing. Like, I try to drink at least 2 liters of water a day, but I also have rock minerals and stuff like that. So I get purified water and then I remineralize it. And I'm a big nerd about health and trying to be as healthy as I can. So it also goes through this little figure eight through a copper spout to re-energize the water and comes out before it goes into my glass bottle. I mean, I don't know. We're lacking minerals in our diets because our food is grown with a lot of chemical fertilizers and that, but remineralizing our bodies, the one way we can do it is with water and with good organic veg, essentially. But yeah, the water is life.
Water is life, and it's essential for sure. I actually purchased some filters and that from Santivia for years. I like them. Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah,
company. I just dropped that in the chat too. Yeah, I think, well, we're almost at the end of time, and I don't even know what we talked about. Like, I just like, this is kind of cool. We didn't have really a list, but Andrea, did you on your end have anything that you wanted to?
No, I just thought it connected to the amazing day that we had last Saturday, the day that we have coming up this Saturday, the
Sunday
Indigo event. So yeah, and Sunday. So if you want to just recap what's happening in the community.
For sure. So Sunday at the gathering place by the Grand on Six Nations, 101 Dewagons is having like an open house for people to come and work on their drums. The project that they started, a grassroots project for it's a legacy project for healing of the residential school legacy, and it's a really beautiful project. You can just check out 101 Dewagons. I'll drop it in the chat right now. And there is a place for you to register think there's a 12. Well, I know 12, 10 till 12, and then a 1 to 3. And you can just go and be in the room. There's drums to be worked on, strikers to create, the carrying leather bag to carry the drum in needs to be sewn and put together. So a great day for activity. If there's families that want to drop in and just add some love and energy to this, to healing. I know we're still learning, and there's still a lot of truth that needs to be shared, but there's also, we really need to heal and come together in community. And that's going to be a really great day, I think. There's also an event at the same place, the Gathering Place, on Saturday, and that's a celebration and kind of a fundraiser for Elder Tom Porter. I had the opportunity of meeting him a few years ago on a trip with the grandmas. And I know he's done so much for Indigenous community and preserving language, and just a really funny guy, really when you get to it. And so I believe you can visit, I think there's some posters circulating. I know there's one on Grandmother's Voice. So you can support that as well. They'll be accepting some funding, any donations to help support, where he's, what his vision is, and what he, just supporting those elders that have been preserving this knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The knowledge that I even shared, I believe, came from them. So I'm really grateful. I'm grateful, Kev, that I get to see you every week. You're fun. Andrea, you're amazing. Yawa, for supporting Grandmother's Voice and everything that we're doing. And there's some more. Thanks. Andrea popped that in there. Is there anything going on with you over there at Newassa or McQuestion Urban Farm, Kevin, that you want to share?
I think we're starting up our volunteers here at McQuestion, and just plugging food in the ground. And then on my farm at home, I do have a soil workshop this Saturday. Anybody that wants to show up, I'm building a bunch of raised beds and different styles of beds and talking about soil health. And
Nice.
if nobody shows up, then I get the day off. That's great. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Excellent. If you could just pop your like how people find you again at your home farm into the chat, and I'll pop it in here. And thank everyone for showing up. We do this because connecting to people is really important right now. And for the 1 or 20 people that this reaches, we hope that you have a great day and take care of yourself. Thanks, Kevin.
Bye, everybody.